Welcome to another K24 swap E30. Here I have a 1989 BMW E30, and I've been stacking parts for a long time to get this done. Along the way, I've gathered as much part I needed right now to where I could just start on this build and get this build completed. Since I've been stacking parts for a long time, some of the parts are outdated or they are first gen of what the company's made. I have the TF Works first gen swap kit. That's their oil pan, and they use these mounts that bolts up to the chassis. And I'd just like to point out what I've ran into so far. I wouldn't say they're issues, I guess mostly my negligence, but they're not a lot of information with these mounts online with the K24 E30 swaps. They do use these style of mounts in like S14 chassis and whatever else chassis, but because they make a lot of K24 swaps, it's for Nissans and such. But I haven't seen people use this style mounts for the E30 swap. Granted, I like these. I like these a lot. They're a little bit more easier to work with, I would say. Granted, I never had the other one. So, first issues I ran into with these mounts. So, like I said, there isn't that much information about these online. So, the first problem I ran into, or let's say my negligence, like any other K24 swap E30 mounts on the market, you retain this OEM mount. And basically the North style kit will just sit on there. I tried that and it did not work out. I'll post pictures what happened. Basically, once you let the engine off the hoist, this basically collapse, and the positioning, it will never work. So finally I came to my conclusion, or I looked at that. It basically the same holes as that, so you go in there. That's the first problem I ran into. Second issue, I had prepped this chassis. I had this chassis for a long time. I've been working on this chassis for a while. The second issue is I had the reinforcements set up on these for the subframe. Those holes, you need access to these holes. So originally, when you install this kit, these holes are like about there. You got like a circle. So I had no access to get up in there to tighten those bolts that will have to drop down from the top. So keep in mind, I mean, I don't think anybody would have their hand on this kit, but you need access to this. The new style kits, you only use this one bolt. So you should be fine there. That was my second issue. And a little bit more about the setup. So there's a K24A, the JDM motor, and this is a E46 M3 GAT-RAG 6-speed transmission. I did not go with the full TF Works kit. This adapter plate is from PCM or PMC, PCM. Can't really remember, but yeah, they're a real good company. They're the only company on the market that makes adapter plate for the E46 M3 to the K24 swap. Everything came with it, the flywheel and everything. Sorry I didn't get the video of installing all this stuff, but it's typical to any other adapter plate. The only thing was on this bolt right here. If you was to run the E46 M3 gearbox 6-speed, if you look real closely, you can see it's off-centered. I had to ream that out because for some reason it's just off by a little. Reason being, I think you could use the same adapter plate for multiple gearboxes. I mean, it wasn't a big of an issue after you figure it out, you know what I mean? I mean, the first time you pay whatever you pay for this part and you try to mount this box up and you're like, oh man, I'm off a hole, and you're like all crazy. But yeah, just drill that out and you should be all set. So I did have this motor already in there correctly, but I didn't have access, so I just right now cut this out, like I just showed you guys, cut this out. So I'm gonna try to remount this motor again in here. I just gotta go feed my dog, so I'm gonna go feed him and probably get back in here and try to get this motor back in here tonight, hopefully, because I need to get going on this project. I will make another video of the complete part list and everything on my plans with this swap. Alright, we're back at it. I'm gonna try to get this thing in here. This is where I actually got this set up today off Amazon. My Jack gave out too. Also bought this thing. Seems to be working fine. Reviews said it was giving a lot of leaks from here, but so far so good. Again, one on the intake studs. To me, this is sketch. I mean, I took it out with it though, so hopefully it holds just to get it back in. And then back here, on 2 exhaust studs. These are a little beefier, but yeah, that's what we got. I'm gonna try to get this thing back in here. I am a one-man team and I don't have a tripod, so I'll try to at least get in a position to where it's like halfway in there. Get a couple shots, show you what's going on, and go from there. Alright, wish you luck. Try to get this thing back in there. Alright, about 15 minutes. This is what I got. This thing really makes a difference. There's a little bit longer transmission, so especially when you're by yourself, it makes a way big difference. Alright, so I'm gonna try to get the mounts in, try to line it up, and see what I got. Get back to you guys. Here we go. She's in, back in. So I did have some issues. This mount gave me some issues just because the motor is slanted a little bit. So when I have the balancing mechanism on there, I had all 4 corners hooked up, so the motor was like level. So what I did, I unbolted this one. No, I unbolted this one and this one. So I had control like this, and I used the winding mechanism and just wind it up. Got the tilt, wrestled with it for like 10 minutes. I was able to get it in. It was still a fight by yourself, so it was a pain in the ass. So she's back in. I didn't get the bolts actually tight up yet. I actually got to go in there, get them all tightened up. But my jack right now is currently stuck holding up the transmission. So gotta get that out of there. Jack up the front, bolt this sucker in, and I'll start mounting up the manifold, water piping. I want to get the coolant stuff done. I'm gonna have a cool setup, relatively cheap setup, coolant for this. Yeah, and hopefully you guys enjoy this episode, man. This is gonna be the first of many, and hopefully I could get a better setup and actually start vlogging a little bit better. But appreciate it, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. Peace.